Thanks very much for the opportunity to present on the StockHead Forum. It's a very timely presentation, I think, from the point of view that we're a very oil-focused company, Buru Energy, of which I'm the executive chairman, and we're an oil producer, and we also have some pretty strong views about where the oil and gas markets are going. We like oil a lot. It's a fungible commodity. In other words, if we find it, we can develop it quickly and we can sell it for a good price, particularly at the moment where between the Brent oil price and the Australian dollar, our sales price is up around $100 Aussie a barrel. And if we can't make a lot of money at those prices, we probably shouldn't be in the business. So let me move on and talk to you a little bit about Buru Energy. Our core business is profitable oil production, and that provides a platform for us to participate in the what we call the integrated energy economy, which in our case is hydrogen, carbon capture and storage, and battery minerals. And I'd emphasize that they're all driven by our core competencies. We haven't just jumped out into the latest fashion. We've been working on a number of these streams over the last year or two, and we've really got some impetus behind them now. So as I mentioned, our core business is profitable oil production. We've also got an extensive exploration program going on at the moment, a strong balance sheet, and we're also operators for a number of joint ventures. So that gives us a very strong operating capability to be able to deliver our projects. So let's look at our core assets and our infrastructure that we use to drive value into the business. We're focused up in the Canning Basin in the Kimberley in northwestern Australia. We have very large land holdings there, contiguous land holdings of about 22,000 square kilometres. We've tried to keep large contiguous land holdings because once you make a discovery, you want to be able to chase it to wherever it goes, no matter whether it crosses permit boundaries. On that exploration areas, we're undertaking a high impact exploration program this year. We've just drilled our first well in that program and about halfway down the second well in that program. Our oil production, which we operate, is from a conventional oil field called Ngani, and that provides us with strong income, particularly at these high prices. As I mentioned, we're a local operator. We operate for 3 major joint ventures. The first one with Origin Energy, the second with Mineral Resources, and the third with Rock Oil. So the fact that we're able to operate for 3 major companies says something about our operating capability. We do have a strong balance sheet. As of 30 June, we had 35 million on the balance sheet. We are, of course, spending a fair bit of that as we go forward on the exploration program. And we're also, of course, like everybody else, focused on reducing our emissions. Let's talk a little bit more about our Buru core activity, in particular our 2021 drilling program. We've got 2 world-class conventional oil prospects, followed by an oil development well. The first well we've completed, called Kurrajong number 1, had some very good indications of oil, and we're quite confident that we have an oil discovery. However, we do need to test it, and that program will start in the next couple of weeks. So we can look forward, we hope, to some very strong oil flow results from that well. The second well we're drilling is Raphael, which is on a very large regional structure with high side reserves that are pretty unusual in Australia. We're about halfway down that well, so in another couple of weeks we should be looking at getting some results from that. To keep the prospect portfolio filled up, we're also acquiring a major seismic program as well, and that's ongoing at the moment, and we're seeing some very good results. That program is being largely funded by Origin Energy under a farm-in process, and the initial carry on the wells was 16 million Aussie, and there's a $6 million carry on the seismic and a big chunk of contingent carry as well moving forward. We're also going to drill another well on our Ungani oil field, Ungani 8. We expect that it will give us a substantial lift in production, and of course at the current oil price, that's going to make a huge difference to our cash flow. We've also expanded outside the Canning Basin, as you can see from this slide. We've been successful as a bidder with Mineral Resources for a permit called L20-1, which is in the onshore Carnarvon Basin, surrounded by infrastructure, and we're using the IP that we've generated on the geology of the Canning Basin to apply for this permit. And we're very hopeful that we're going to see some very interesting results from both oil and gas exploration next year, and it also has a lot of potential for things like carbon capture. Let's talk now about our transition to the integrated energy economy. We've set up 3 subsidiaries to capture this. The first is called 2H Resources, which is a natural hydrogen exploration company. Natural hydrogen is geological hydrogen that's been reservoired underground, somewhat similar to natural gas. There's been a number of discoveries of this over the years, and it's now been recognised as a potential source for hydrogen with a very low carbon footprint. This is a very competitive space, and we're currently building a portfolio of assets in it, and we'll be looking to go public on that in the future as we consolidate our position. Our second subsidiary is called Project GeoVault. This is looking at carbon capture and storage. This is a very interesting space to be in, and we think there's a huge commercial potential in here as well. Any realistic path to decarbonisation in 2030 and in 2050 has carbon capture and storage as a major component. And to achieve those targets, and these are the numbers from the IEA, by 2040 we'll have to be sequestering 2.35 billion tonnes of carbon dioxide. At the moment, on an annual basis, we're doing about 40. So you can see there's a 60 times gap in our ability to sequester CO2 through carbon capture and storage. There's a very large opportunity here for people with the geological expertise to find areas where carbon can be captured and stored successfully, and we're working hard to make that work, and we've managed to access some very strong IP in that space. And again, it's a very competitive space, and we're working hard to make sure that we remain competitive in that. The other subsidiary is Project Batmin. That is a project where we have picked up mineral exploration permits that overlie our petroleum permits, because the geological formation of the oil that we have found in the Canning Basin in hydrothermal dolomites is very similar to the geological process that forms Mississippi Valley type lead zinc deposits. So we didn't want to be in a position where we were drilling an oil exploration well, found a large lead zinc deposit and had to give it to the holder of the mineral rights. So we've been very targeted to areas where we are being active and where we think geologically there's a good chance of finding lead zinc deposits in the Mississippi Valley style projects. So again, this is an extremely competitive space, and we're slowly building up our portfolio. We're also working on a project we call the REP, the Roebuck Energy Precinct, which is a combined solar and gas electricity production project, which we're working with the Native Title Group in the area to progress this. And again, we'll have more to say about this as it progresses. So let me wrap up. We think there's a clear and compelling case for investment in Buru Energy. We have a strong core business with significant leverage through our exploration program and integrated energy growth to future-proof our business. A controlling acreage interest, a strong exploration program, strong balance sheet, and the subsidiaries that are looking to the integrated energy space, natural hydrogen, carbon capture and storage, battery minerals, and our solar and gas project. Thank you again. If you'd like any further information, please get in touch with me directly, or obviously have a look on our website where there's a lot of information on our projects, and monitor the ASX releases that we'll be making on our exploration program going forward. Thank you very much.